Yeah!
Yeah! Salt Lake City, baby!
The home of the Utah Jazz, and tonight, the home of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Yes, UFC 307 kicks off in right around 42 minutes from right now. Get excited, everybody. Get fired up. Get pumped. I know I am, and I hope you are as well. Welcome to the People's Pre-Fight Show, everybody. I am Mike Heck, and joining me as always, producer extraordinaire, the baddest stash in all of MMA, the chair-swinging fool. Let's see how many chair swings tonight for E. Casey Leydon. How excited is he? Let's see.
Bulgarian. Salt Lake City! Oh,
that's a lot of excitement.
Got my Celsius. Hey, sponsor me, guys.
Me too.
Hey.
Me too. I got the which one do you have?
I'm a traditionalist. I got the orange.
Yeah, I got the tropical vibe this time. We got the pack, the box, the 12 pack. So you just kind of reach in, you pull out. It's a surprise every time, which is always nice. So this will be the first of at least two of these tonight. Yeah. No doubt about it. As we get ready for UFC 307, we got the watch party tonight. This is going to be a fun one, Casey. I mean, you got Jed's view on the festivities. You got my excitement levels on the festivities tonight. Again, as I mentioned on the previous show, very strange here. It is all over the place. There's usually no gray area with this discussions heading into these pay-per-views. It's either this card friggin' rules, it's going to be the best, and there's the occasional person that'll disagree. Or it's just, this is kind of rotten. This is bad. This one is, it's everything. I've seen it all, and multiple people saying, sort of taking a different lane, if you will.
To me, this is just, it's not the greatest pay-per-view. It's not the worst pay-per-view. To me, this is a solid pay-per-view. Just solidly solid. This is kind of what they should be. I get the complaints, I guess, because in the two title fights, both challengers really aren't the most deserving, but they're not the most undeserving too. They're like the next one back. So it's not like they're just rando guys they're putting in there just for ratings or whatever. So whatever. I don't have issue. I like Khalil Rountree. I just dig him as a person, and I get Pereira moves the needle. Without a doubt, she moves the needle. So, got no issue. It's prize fighting. Got no issue with it. Aldo's on the main card now. It's a bummer we lost Sterling. The Sterling fight, that sucks. But yeah, it's a solid card. I don't know why people are complaining. I mean, maybe it's a little burnout. I think maybe a burnout, just pay-per-view burnout, because I know we have another pay-per-view in 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. So maybe a little burnout. Not really sure. I was surprised when you guys were kind of talking about. There was a lot of complaining about it, but I'm fine with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and I think in the end, the last fight is going to end in vicious fashion. So it's going to leave us a good taste in our mouths. Either way, either Khalil Rountree is going to pull up this massive upset, and we're going to lose our freaking minds, or Alex Pereira is just going to keep doing Alex Pereira things. Either way, that fight's probably not getting to the third round. I hope I'm not pulling a Bisping here and jinxing it, but I just don't see a world where that happens. I just don't see it.
I see it.
Maybe it goes to third, but championship rounds, no.
But I don't see a bad fight. I don't see an unexciting. I think any casual combat sports watching fan will be able to enjoy the main event. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm really into wrestling, so this is a good wrestling match. You know, I think I'm not as high on it as like this would definitely be a violent knockout, but I think it will be a violent, high level kickboxing match with small gloves. So that's always fun. I'm not guaranteeing. Yes. I honestly think this could go decision, but not in a bad way.
Really?
Yeah, not in a bad way.
Okay. If this goes to decision, is this going to look like Glover versus Yuri? We're just going to be, what the hell did we just watch for 25 minutes? Because I
mean, the greatest fight
it could be.
ever. ever. No, that fight had freaking everything. The skill sets of these two gentlemen just aren't what Glover and Yuri brought into the cage. But I just expect to see. I'm happy that fans are going to see just high level kickboxing with small gloves. So I don't want to. I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm not trying to do like. There's no way this is going to the decision. So I'm not that guy. But
okay, fair enough. Speaking of the fans, this is why we're here. We're here to talk to all of you. We're here to answer your questions. So, Casey, if you will, fire the first question upon us, and we'll answer them for the next 37 minutes or so.
Let's do it. I like this real quick, just before we get to the super chats.
Hi, Mike and Mustache. How's your day been? It's been a good day. Got to play some golf with Jed. It was fun.
How'd it go? How'd you score? What was?
Neither of us played tremendously. It was a tougher layout than I was used to playing at this course that I played a couple of times. It played a lot harder. I started off great, and then the wheels fell off, and then it got great again. And Jed started off real bad, and then he got great, and then he got bad. So I mean, it was the prototypical day of golf for non-professional golfers, right. But it was fun.
Good. I wanted to hear about the golf. Basically, that's why I put this question. I wanted to know.
By the way, let me just throw a little teaser out for the watch party. Jed and I have already discussed and agreed on the punishment for our picks, and we will reveal them on the watch party, and it's friggin' fantastic.
Excellent. All right, and yeah. So cool, and I've had a nice, wonderful day too. Had a nice smoothie for lunch. Got my workout in, did some sparring today, worked on some takedowns. You know, it was fun, good times. No injuries, no stitches. I'm here. I got my Celsius. Good times.
Yes. Super chat from Namkablam. What would you guys name UFC 307? Seems like undeserving is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Either is it undeserving because it sounds intense.
I mean, that's just like everybody says. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Who's more undeserving, Pena or Rountree? Let's play a game.
From a meritocratic perspective, it's probably Pena. She also had a title shot. Like, she was supposed to fight for the belt in June of last year before she got hurt, and Irene Aldana stepped in to fight Nunes. And then Nunes retired, and so Pena was supposed to fight for the belt. And then once Raquel won and the whole build to the Mayra Bueno Silva fight, we all knew Juliana Pena was fighting for the belt next. So I don't understand why people are that fired up about it when we knew that this was the direction the UFC was going to go the entire time. So them booking this fight was not a surprise at all. The Rountree one, it's probably him just from a rankings perspective, but I love the fight so much that I don't care. You know what I mean? The whole sort of breakdown from Dana White as to why Magomed Ankalaev didn't get the title shot is so funny to me. He's already booked. Yeah. And he's booked later this month. You think if you called him up and said, hey, we'll have Khalil Rountree step in and then you could fight for the belt, he'd be like, nah, I want to fight in Abu Dhabi instead. No, he would have jumped on that in a second. So that whole thing's ridiculous, but it's the UFC just wants to guarantee that something fun is going to happen to close the show out. And Salt Lake City wants Alex Pereira on the card, and this is what we got.
Yeah, Rountree was the next guy. It wasn't like he was number 4 or number 5. So I have no issue. It's just whatever. Yeah. And it's one of those things like what's the term? Not strike while the iron's hot, but just hey, you had the opportunity. You can justify this amazing title fight. You can justify. You only got to bump one guy down. It's fine, and it's fine. I don't know. UFC 307 undeserving. I like it.
Last stand. How violent could this main card get? Could the main card get?
Main card.
I don't. It's 50-50. It's 50-50. This is, I think the main event will be violent. I think it'll end quickly because I do believe Khalil Rountree when he says, I'm just going to go after this man and the chips fall how they may. Pennington Pena, I actually think that fight could get bloody and grueling throughout. Aldo Batista, I don't know. I don't know. How do we define violent here, Casey? Do we define it by bloody wars or do we define it by percentage of fights that don't go to the cards?
Let's go. Let's go. Brain damage.
The finishes? Okay.
Yeah.
Kayla Harrison could get a quick finish. It's possible. And if she does so, she's going to elbow the shit out of Ketlen Vieira. So I think the first fight and the last fight could get finished. I don't see a finish in the other 3 fights at all.
Oh yeah, I saw your picks. I saw a lot of decisions.
It's a lot of decisions right now. It's a lot of decisions. I got to play for the points here. I don't want to lose this bet.
Yeah. I got no guarantees. I do not know how violent this main card could be. I think how many fighters are going to the hospital and not making the post presser, win or lose?
Oh man, that's a different question. That's a different question altogether.
I could see.
I think we'll get a handful. I think there'll be a handful that are going to get transported. Follow Jose Youngs on Twitter. He will let you know.
Yeah.
Who's getting transported.
Yeah. But, thank you for the question, Last Stand.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope the answer is very. We'll just say that.
All right. Yeah, very. Not sure what this is.
Steven, Donnie D embarrassing himself again with Kayla. Oh my God. Did you see this, Casey? I put it in our private.
Oh, I
put it in our private Slack
it.
channel. PFL decided that today would be a great day to recount Larissa Pacheco beating Kayla Harrison. They're just running with this shit. They think people like it. Nobody likes this. Nobody likes this at all.
Yeah, I don't. But the UFC did. I remember the UFC doing. UFC doing something like this? Like when, like there was like Affliction, and they would show like Andre Arlovski losing fights or something like that when he was in Affliction or something. It's just, I don't know. Whatever. No one. It's a tweet.
This to me is better than Don Davis doing media and saying that Kayla Harrison ran to the UFC. This kind of trolling, I don't love it, but I'm okay with it if I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. But piggybacking off Don Davis being like, hey, Kayla's great. We built her. We made her who she is. And then she was scared to fight Chris Cyborg and Larissa Pacheco for the 3rd time, by the way.
Yeah. And
then ran to the UFC. It's just so silly.
I don't like the pushing Kayla's scared. Just push that you have. Just say you have the best fighter in the world, Larissa Pacheco and Chris Cyborg. Just say it.
Yes.
Just go for that. Just go for that. And there's an argument that Larissa Pacheco is the best female fighter right now in the world. Whatever. She's got a win over her, and she hasn't lost since. Yeah, sure.
Take some notes from Scott Coker. Mix some of that in, Don Davis. I think that's a good way to look at it. Michael Chandler goes to the UFC. Did Scott Coker talk shit about Michael Chandler? Oh, he ran away from AJ McKee. He knew AJ was coming, so he ran to the UFC. No, he said, we'll root for him. This guy's done a lot for us. We appreciate what he did for our brand.
Yeah.
We wish him the very best. Why can't you say that?
Yeah.
Like, I understand Dana White has... Yeah, I understand Dana White. And Don Davis's whole thing was like, I'm not Dana White. We're not the UFC. But he is trying to be Dana Light. And it drives me crazy when he does that. He's just so wrong about so much. Drives me up the wall.
Don't be Dana Light. Don't be Dana Light.
Don't be Dana
Light.
For sure.
But when Chandler was fighting, I'm pretty sure Bellator made sure to put up some clips. Oh, By the way, here's our guy Pitbull, our 45 champ, knocking out Chandler. But they didn't trash Chandler, but they put some clips up there. But promote your own fighters without trashing Kayla. That's all.
Okay, so do they do that? Did they do that on a Pitbull fight night, or did they do that on a Chandler fight night?
I don't remember exactly. But this is more whatever Don Davis is doing. The whole like, Coker never said he's scared, or nothing, none of that crap. They just go, hey, he had a good run, but we had guys that beat the crap out of Chandler. They're fighting next week, or something.
And Kayla asked for the Cyborg fight 1,000 times. You remember that? Remember when Kayla was with PFL and then she was a free agent? Bellator had offered her like a really big deal, and the fight to make in Hawaii was they were going to do Chris Cyborg versus Kayla Harrison. Kayla's like, yeah, I'm down. And then PFL matched the offer. She ain't running from Chris.
I remember
she ain't
that.
running from Cyborg. She's not. So insane.
Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah.
Plus, she's cutting to 135. She's making this brutal weight cut to a division she said she would never, ever fight in. She'd have to cut off an arm or a leg or whatever the quote was that she told Ariel Helwani back in the day. And she's made it twice. Yeah, it's so dumb.
It is dumb. Hey, but I hate to give Donnie D some credit here, but we are talking about PFL, so I guess it's something. I know. It's,
he has to use the UFC to get people to talk about them. The things we've talked about the most this year are UFC fighters, Kayla Harrison, and the most talked about story coming from a PFL event was a fist fight on a casino floor between two UFC fighters.
Yeah. Thank you, Steven. All right. Ooh, a lot of super chats. It's get him out.
I love it. Let's go. What's Khalil's path back to the title if he loses? I don't think there is one.
You don't think so?
No, he's just so far behind, man.
Two
like in the rankings.
Two knockout victories. You lose to the champ. He knocks out. I can't. He's gonna have to knock out like a Jamal Hill or a guy like that.
He's gonna have to beat He's gonna have to beat like Jan Blachowicz. He's gonna have to beat at least probably two former champions to get there. If it's Pereira still holding the belts, it's a long way.
Well, it kind of depends how this fight goes too. If he loses bad, or if it's a competitive fight and he just loses in a slugfest, like that, then maybe. I think if tonight looks very one-sided, the route back will be much longer. If it's a competitive fun fight, I think it could be quicker with Pereira's champ. If Ankalaev is eventually champ, which we kind of, who knows, then maybe. But I don't think this is basically what I'm trying to say. If this isn't one of those fights, if Khalil loses, he's, to me, in my opinion, I think there's a road back within the next couple of years. That's all I think.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing too. Will he leave tonight as a guy that we're talking about in a super positive way? So like you said, if he loses if it's a super close fight and he fights his ass off, even if it's like a compelling ass whooping and he just toughs it out and makes it to the cards, his stock grows and the UFC will reward star rising, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think he'll get what Sean Strickland has gotten. I don't think it'll be to that extent. But if he can get a little bit of a bump up and people start getting real excited to hear from Khalil and watch him fight, and I think people are excited to watch him fight anyways, maybe it's a little bit quicker. But if he just goes out and gets thumped in 90 seconds tonight, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it even depends how that 90 seconds goes. If it's, we'll see. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I just hope that win or lose, the fans, like what Khalil's been saying, we know what we're gonna. He guarantees, like, what you're gonna get when Khalil walks out there. You're gonna get a freaking fist fight, a violent fist fight with hands, elbows, knees, and kicks. And I think if he gives that and the fans can appreciate it, and hopefully, like you talked about Sean Strickland, I hope the fans can appreciate that Rountree is a very unique figure too, also in this game, in the sense that he's not a trash talker. He's actually a for all I can tell, is just quite the gentleman. You know, he's very well spoken. He really tells us, you know, his feelings. He makes us, you know, I feel like I know what it's like to be in there when I hear him talk, and I think that's like for me, a guy like me, I think that's inspirational. I find inspiration in watching a guy like him go out there and do it. Like I've enjoyed watching his journey, and I want to continue watching it, win or lose. But that's me. I'm not the guy big into the trash talking, you know, just the Pena Strickland type guys. But I'm that demographic. So hopefully a lot more fans can kind of jump on that, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing the timeline video for this because I had to go to watch all these old Khalil interviews, and I was like, man, the guy just, you know, he lays it out there. You know, he gives you, you ask him a question, he sits there for a little bit, and he'll go, okay, because he doesn't just say things. He really, I don't know. I just feel he's really on. Yeah, he's very reflective, and I don't think we don't get that too much in this sport. And I just hope fans appreciate it, and hope the UFC and Dana White can, because they know how to promote certain fighters. I don't know if they know how to promote guys like Khalil. So
yeah,
I hope that's all. I was kind of rambling a bit, sorry, but you know what I mean. All right, thank you much.
Dave, where's Jed? Will he be on post fight? Jed will be on the watch party and the post fight, so don't you worry. You'll see a lot of Jed tonight.
Yeah.
Jed is at his parents' house in Savannah. He'll be here in a couple hours.
Did you guys wear sunscreen? You didn't get all toasted?
No, we didn't need it. Didn't need it.
It's a nice overcast day.
It rained. It rained this morning when we teed off. It was kind of soapy and soaked on the course, and then sun broke out a couple of times. But it was just a cloudy upper 70s kind of day. It was beautiful.
That's great. Good news. All right. Question from our good friend Achilles Jr.
Shama, Pena, Aldo, Kayla, Kevin, Wonderboy. Put that in and cash him, Mike. God, I don't know how I feel about reading this. I don't know. So my bets and my predictions are different in certain fights. Like I don't have a bet. I have a bet on Pereira, like a sprinkle on winning in round 1 or round 2, but I have the fight just ending in under 2.5 rounds. I have a bet on Pena, but just to peel back the curtain, my pick for what Jed and I are doing and for our stat picks is Pennington. Because I think if this is like a 50-50 fight, it's a toss-up. I'm picking Pennington to win. I just think there's a little bit of value on Juliana. I do have Aldo. I got Kayla, obviously. I have a bet on Delidze, but I'm picking Kevin Holland, if that makes sense. And I actually have a bet on Wonderboy tonight. So, I don't know. Maybe. This would be a pretty spectacular parlay.
What's the line on Aldo Batista?
Aldo's the dog, which is mostly why I bet that.
That is wild. So he's the betting dog, but the straight picks, he's 80% of the people are picking him to win on Tapology. I've never seen that before. Where someone's actually a betting underdog, but then just on the straight pick 'em, a significant favorite in the straight pick 'em on Tapology. Maybe people just don't have the heart to pick against them when they're not putting their own money in. I don't know.
People are just waiting for Father Time to catch up to Jose Aldo. I got him at plus 125. He's down to plus 114. So obviously money is coming in on Jose Aldo now. But yeah, I'm picking. If you give me Aldo at dog money against Francis Ngannou, I'm betting on Jose Aldo. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm betting Jose Aldo at dog money against anybody.
80% of people are picking Aldo to win, and he is still the betting underdog.
It's crazy.
That's just pretty remarkable. I never seen that. All right. Well, good luck, Achilles Jr. I think you wasted some money, but whatever. You know.
Yeah, show that ticket. Tweet it out.
Show that ticket. Yeah. All right. Super chat coming in.
If Carlos Prates wins another fight in November, he'd be 4-0 in 2024 with 4 finishes and potentially 4 bonuses. Should he be the underground fighter of the year? He'll have a very good case for the... No. Did Prates fight in 2023? Is this his rookie year?
See, I hate how we do that. I think we should have breakout fighter. I think whatever, without a doubt, if he wins big and gets 4 bonuses, I think he will. I think he easily could be the breakout fighter of the year. Let me see. When did he start the UFC?
No, he made his debut in February, so he would be. He's probably the rookie of the year front runner right now. I would say. But if he goes out there and beats up Randy Brown, if he goes out and finishes Randy Brown at Madison Square Garden 4-0, 4 finishes in his first 4 UFC fights, he's a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and easily. Yeah, no, there's no argument. Am I missing somebody? I'm not. At least who's second place right now? I don't know. I can't.
It'll hit me.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't thought about that. All right. Throw in the chats, guys, who you think would be kind of the top rookies of the year right now so far. All right. Super chat from Kenny Powers.
Oh, Vinicius Oliveira is probably a guy that's in the mix.
Yeah. Okay.
John Silva is another one.
Well, yeah, John Silva. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's a few.
Can Holland be the first fighter to stop Dolidze? It's gonna be tough, man. I'll say no. I mean, I don't know.
Can be, but I'm picking Dolidze.
I think Holland does win, but it's just such a weird fight.
I don't like Holland. I don't like Holland at 85 anymore. I'm kind of over it. I don't know why we're here. I get it's easier for him. He can get more fights and get another paycheck, but
that's all he cares about.
Yeah, well, good for him. I mean, that's all he should care about. He's a prize fighter. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he could, but Dolidze is shoe leather tough.
Yeah. If he does get
if Imavov didn't finish him, I don't know if anybody can, because Imavov beat the hell out of that man.
Yeah. He'll have to catch him in surprise submission. I think it won't be with the hands, but we'll see. Super chat from Connor Mahoney.
Under or over 2 more fights after tonight, Pereira has a light heavyweight before he moves up to heavyweight.
So the assumption would be he wins tonight, then he beats Ankalaev. I guess that would be the 2 wins.
That's got to be it, right? What else would be intriguing for him at 205? I don't know. I'll
just keep fighting.
It's tough to say too.
It depends how much. I think it just kind of depends how much money the UFC throws at him to a super fight at heavyweight. I'm like Jed. I agree with Jed here. I just want guys to keep racking up those defenses. I like that. I miss those days. I miss those days. So I'm hoping he stays a light heavyweight for his whole career and just chases records.
Yeah. I'll say it'll be 2 exactly, but again, it depends on who the heavyweight champion is. If John Jones is in and out, if he's playing the Henry Cejudo card where he retires on fight night, but then keeps tweeting out that he might come back, maybe he would take that fight in a second. Would he go for Aspinall? Is that a big enough fight? Is the risk reward there? Maybe. I don't know if it's there just yet, but I think it could get there. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, I think if John's champ, I think the likelihood is much more likely that Pereira goes up. Aspinall, not so much, I feel.
Does John Jones, if Pereira wins tonight and John Jones does what he will probably do to Stipe, does John retire or does he call out Pereira? I don't think he's calling Aspinall out. I don't think he does it, but I think he would call. I think he would say, "I will stick around for one more, and I will fight Alex Pereira
and not fight the actual other champion in the heavyweight division." Because
that fight would be so big, it would be gigantic, Jones versus Pereira, but it would also create so many eye rolls. You could hear the worldwide eye rolls if he makes that call out.
Is it dumb if oh God, I hate even saying this. If that actually happens, would the UFC have to strip Aspinall of his interim championship?
So someone brings this up a lot, and I don't know if this is the case or not. Once John Jones versus Stipe begins, is Tom not the interim champion anymore? Is he automatically just not the interim champion because the actual champion is fighting and defending his belt?
Yeah, I don't understand. There's no. Is this written down anywhere? Is there any rules to this anywhere?
I don't know, because I know like Whitaker was the champion, and then they just gave him the belt when GSP beat Bisping. I don't know. That's probably like the precedent, right? They weren't sure what GSP was going to do. GSP promised to fight Whitaker to unify the belts. Nah, they won't strip him. They won't strip him. It'd be. So, can you imagine if they did though? Can you imagine if Dana White shows up at the press conference in New York and he's asked that question and he's like, "Yeah, as soon as the fight starts, Tom's no longer the interim champion."
I mean, technically that should be the right
should
move.
Happen.
That's the right move. But also technically he should be fighting Aspinall. So
yeah. This whole thing's so silly.
It is silly. It kind of hurt my brain thinking about that.
so many formulas.
Yeah, I was very focused on this card, and now I'm like, my brain.
Always comes back to John every time.
And if Stipe wins,
literally the funniest thing that's ever happened.
We have to have a camera on Jed no matter what happens for that.
You
fight.
Will.
You will.
Because we'll be watch partying. That's gonna be a busy weekend for watch parties, by the way. So stay tuned.
All right. Super chat from Giovanni Perez.
Shout out to Giovanni. That's at least 2 iced coffees right there.
Yeah.
Do we still not care that Poatan is yet to fight a real grappler? I know people saying there's no top-ranked grapplers at 205, but should he even be champ if he would lose to a grappler outside the top 15? So
I'll buy it.
I don't know if that's true because, first of all, Strickland can talk to anybody who has ever stepped in a gym with Sean Strickland, and they will tell you that he is a grappling savant. He just never does it. He could grapple. The game plan that Extreme Couture and Eric Nixick built for Sean Strickland to fight Alex Pereira was to take him down, and Sean just was like, F it, I'm going to punch him in the face. So technically, in that sense, after talking to Eric Nixick about that fight so many times, whether in interviews or just in conversations on the phone or text message, it's always the same. Like, the plan was to grapple with him and take him down. Anthony Smith speaks glowingly about Sean Strickland's game and even says, like, why doesn't he do this in fights? Like, why doesn't he use this in fights? And Nixick's just like, I bang my head against the wall over and over again, thinking about that same kind of question. Jan Blachowicz, he's not like he's not Damian Maia, but dude will take you down. He will take you down and grapple you. Did it to Israel Adesanya. He did it to Alex Pereira. That first round, he almost submitted Alex Pereira. And what did Alex Pereira do? Battled through it. Good submission defense. And then won the fight. So he's fought grapplers.
I don't buy this argument anymore. I think we're over that. Tonight is an exception. I get it. Rountree is the guy who I think has 0 career takedown attempts. I get that. So tonight doesn't really help this argument. I mean, for me. But he has fought grapplers. Strickland knows how to grapple. Yuri knows how to grapple. Yuri submitted Glover Teixeira. You know who else is a pretty decent grappler?
Jamal Hill is a pretty decent grappler. He just nukes dudes.
Honestly, all these dudes are pretty decent grapplers. To get to this level, you have to be a decent grappler. I'm just like, just because you don't see it in the cage, they know what they're doing. They know how to grapple. It's not like So I don't buy it. So, but like, what does Poatan need to fight Vinny Magalhaes? Like, what do you need? Is that what you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
shoot him in the time machine. Let's have him fight Tito. Blachowicz was a great test. We talked about that fight and how that could possibly look if Jan Blachowicz is able to get takedowns in that fight, and he did. And then guess what happened after the first round? He couldn't get him anymore because he figured it out. So I don't love this argument.
What? Give me a name. Who is this fighter that should fight Poatan? Who is it?
It would be Ankalaev.
I guess Ankalaev. Like that's. I guess
But
Ankalaev.
like, if you asked me this a year ago, who would win Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, I would pick Magomed Ankalaev within a second. But after seeing what Pereira has done since then, I would probably pick Pereira right now to win that fight.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah.
tough. It's tough, no doubt.
I would probably pick Pereira too. Yeah, but I get what you're trying to say, Mr. Perez, but you gotta. It's still a prize fight, it's still a championship fight. You gotta somehow work your way into that cage, you know. So Rountree got that. I mean, Ankalaev's going. Who's Ankalaev fighting? I forgot. Oh yeah, Rakic. So
Yeah.
and yeah, Rakic. I mean, he's a good grappler too. I think more known for his kickboxing, but the man can hold you down if he wants to. So yeah. So either way, Proton will face a guy. His next fight will be against a fighter who's definitely won fights primarily used grappling. So but tonight's not the night. We're not gonna find out tonight.
And even if he fights John Jones, he's still fighting a grappler. Like he's fighting an elite grappler. So yeah, he's fought grapplers.
Yeah.
Super chat from Borg. Is Khalil winning the worst case scenario for Magomed? I feel like the UFC would run this fight back if Alex can't get it done tonight. So this is a tremendous point, and it's got to be yes, right?
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't gonna go there until we actually see it happens. I didn't want to talk about it, but we're here. So yeah, if Rountree wins 1,000 billion%, there will be Rountree versus Pereira 2. You know.
Yeah,
in
no doubt.
February. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Magomed Ankalaev
and I'll
kick
be
a dude in the chest through the cage wall for a knockout and still not get a title shot.
Yeah.
If Khalil Rountree wins.
Yeah, the only way that doesn't happen is if Pereira somehow really injured or gets injured in training camp or whatever, and then Ankalaev would be Rountree versus Ankalaev. Only if Pereira is injured or for some reason or just decides to take a big break. And that is, I think, is the biggest story no one's talking about, is the whole 4 main event pay-per-views in one calendar year. Has anyone successfully won all 4 fights like that? Has it happened where 4 pay-per-views, main events in a calendar year, and it won all 4?
Like the only 2 names I can think of would be Volkanovski or Izzy, but I don't. Maybe Usman, because he had a really good active run before he lost to Leon. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's like done that. I'd say Izzy's probably like the only name. I think
Izzy was close, and then he ran to Strickland, and then we kind of saw what happened. Like it's always that 4th one, or it may not be calendar, maybe 18 months, but 4 main events for pay-per-views. I mean, that is an intense training regime, like no breaks.
They both did 3
until we lost to, and then he wound up losing to Islam in the 3rd one, or
yeah, it was Ortega, Zombie, and Max. The 3rd Max fight was within like 10 months.
Yeah. Oh, someone mentioned that maybe Ronda did it. Maybe Ronda had 4 pay-per-views. But I don't think she even main evented all 4, because I know a couple of times Weidman was main event, but Ronda might be close.
All right, let's look at Izzy here. Gastelum was April 2019. Yeah, it's man. So Whitaker is when he actually won the belt. That was October 2019. Fought Yoel in March. Fought Costa in September. So that's 3. Yeah, this I got to look deeper into it, but he is very active.
If Alex does what a lot of people think he's going to do tonight and win big, 4 victories at 205 in one calendar year, is this the greatest 365 days ever for one UFC fighter?
I mean, it should be.
I've been thinking about this week. I don't want, I don't want to jump the gun. I want to wait for
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but I figure, all right, now,
I
now
mean,
it's time to throw some.
he's in elite territory in all of these conversations. Conor, man, like even though he lost to Nate at the beginning of 2016, the way that year ended, it was him winning the second belt and everything. It was just so insane. But just everything, like if there's a checklist of things you need to do in order to be that guy,
My Celsius like splashed. It like shot up at me. I went like that, and I was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I'm on camera. Crap." I was like, sorry.
So like that, man, that question you're asking right now, God, I miss Shaheen Al-Shadi. Like having him on a post-fight show to answer that question would be incredible.
Well, I mean, what happens tonight? Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of fancy writing that.
Hell yeah!
If Pereira can do what he wins tonight big. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It won't be the biggest prize fighting year we've ever seen, but in terms of just victories and championships and just doing the thing, man,
it actually might be a terrific prize fighting year for him.
I'm sure. I'm sure it definitely is. But
headlines MSG, saves the day after John gets bumped to the main event after Joan Stipe falls out, saves UFC 300, saves International Fight Week, and then fights again against Khalil Rountree. I mean, this is terrific prize fighting.
Yeah,
it's not maybe it's not going to do a million 5 pay-per-views, but for his bank account, I'm sure this is a very successful year for him.
Oh no, without a doubt. I'm just kind of putting it. Is it hitting the con? I know nothing's hitting Conor level, but you know what? We don't. I want to know the numbers. I want to see how many zeros he's getting. But we'll see.
It's got to be a lot.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Just talking. Just thinking about this. It's like, oh my god. Yeah. It's really, what Pereira's done is insane. If he can do it one more night, he has to do it one more night. And dang, who knows? He wins tonight easily. So when was that? When was that calendar? The first fight in this calendar year? When was that? Like,
so over at November. This past November, that was the first Yuri fight.
Okay, the first.
That's when he won the belt.
Okay, you wanted time to get another one in. Okay, I was thinking, was like, maybe I was like, can he get 5 in? No.
Hey, listen, if something happens to Stipe and he has a short night, you know what could happen.
Oh,
you know who's getting that call, man. It might be too fast, man, but man, MSG again, third MSG pay-per-view in a row he could headline. How much go from Izzy to Yuri to John freaking Jones, and he win if he won the third belt 6 weeks after a title defense? Oh my god!
And honestly, Stipe is like 2,000 years old. He can get hurt, you know, and if you know, it's a rather an injury-free victory tonight, man. And he's going to heavyweight, so no weight cut.
Oh my god!
Ooh, man, I'm like no.
Jesus.
Okay. We got a lot of super chat. Sorry, we got a lot of super chat. Yeah, sorry.
Let's fire. Kenny Power says Aldo tonight on points. Thoughts? That's how I have it too. Aldo by decision.
That's most likely. I'm picking Aldo by. I'm just gonna throw my pick out. I'm picking Aldo by finish just because I want to see it.
Ooh.
But more likely.
That'd be awesome. That'd be incredible.
More likely by points. I was watching some Aldo highlights and I was watching that Jeremy Stevens fight again. I was like,
man.
I want to see those body shots. Yeah, again. But thank you, Kenny.
Raheem, hope you guys get to see your great grandkids. Me too.
Thank you.
Shama.
Shout
out. See you at 3 a.m. for the post-fight, boys. Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about this off air, but In a perfect world, we'll start before that, but there is a world where 3 a.m. is quite possible. So
Yeah, I think it
just
will
be
be.
prepared for anything.
Yeah. All right. Few more super chats.
When was the last time we had main and co-main event so intriguing that we don't know who will win and with so much at stake? By the way, I'm talking about 308. 308 is freaking spectacular. I like it if it still had the Cyril Gane Volkov fight on there, it's even better. We got Topuria Holloway, Whitaker Shemaev, Lerone Murphy, Dan Ige, Ankalaev versus Rakic, Shara Bullet. We got Renat Fakhratinov, Nursultan Rudzabayev, which, you know, miles may vary. Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just saying those two names in the same fight is, oh my God. Someone's getting napped real quick. Ibo Asayan versus Rafael Cerqueira. This fight warms my heart, Casey. I'm so excited for this fight. Miktabek Oralbai versus Matush Rebechki. Oh, Lordy. Lightweights, baby. Fareed Basharat, Victor Hugo. Bruno Silva versus Ishmael Nardiev. Kennedy Nchichuku versus Justin Tafa. Said Nurmagomedov versus Daniel Santos. God, this is such a fun card. And what I like so much about this card, Casey, is that the prelims start at like 10 a.m. Eastern. It's tremendous. I love the Abu Dhabi card every year, mostly for that purpose.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah, it's going to be a fun card. But, we'll have lots of time to talk about it, Fahim. So, thank you. But, real quick on 308, there's only one fight I honestly really, 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 really care about. And that's the amazing main event. And the rest of the card is freaking awesome. But that main event, man.
The top two fights are, it's tough to top those.
The co-main event, I'm not gonna believe it's happening until I'm gonna be like Jose. Till literally they shut the cage door and the ref goes, "All right, fight," and the clock goes from 5 to 4:59. Then I'll be excited. Until then, I'm still like, But that main event though, so hyped about it. So hyped.
God.
Thank you, Fahim. Fahim, we got 307 tonight.
Dave, you expect elevation to play a factor tonight? What do you think about this, Casey? Is there any fights in particular?
Yeah, actually Harrison. I'm kind of curious about Harrison.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because we know Caitlin is tough as nails, and if she can get her tired for about 7 minutes and that big weight cut, if Vieira wins, I expect it to be some sort of. The tables would turn fast by halfway through the fight, and she would take over. I do not expect her to have any success in the first round. If she can survive without getting her forehead split open, like Aldana or something, if she can survive the first round, that's basically the Harrison fight. I want to see that weight cut. It's a brutal weight cut. And it takes a lot of energy to hold someone down for 5 minutes and even do whatever. So the Harrison fight. What else? I think everything else.
I think it always Aldo. I think maybe Aldo, depending on how Mario Batista approaches this fight, especially if he puts Aldo up against the fence and takes the Marab approach, which honestly would not be the worst idea for him. I don't know. It's tough to say.
But Harrison.
We'll know quickly. We will know very quickly. I would say also, because it's been a thing, Alexander Hernandez, Austin Hubbard, I think we're going to see something there. Hernandez is one of the best one-round fighters you will see in the UFC, and then he just kind of falls apart. He's not fighting 35 this time, so I think that helps him a little bit. But Hernandez is a guy who usually just gets after in that first round. If he doesn't get you out of there, he starts to fade. And if he does it in Salt Lake City against Austin Hubbard, who's never been finished via strikes, he's been submitted a bunch. I don't know.
Hernandez went down. He went down to 45, right? And he's back up. He went down to 45.
He's back up.
Okay,
he's back
okay.
For this fight. I don't know if he's full time up, but he took this fight on, I think, somewhat short notice.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Super chat from Chase. I think it's in reference to John Jones.
Jones came very close, December 2018 to February 2020, 4 Ws. Yep, that was close. Izzy's come close. Volk's come close. Yeah, love it.
I mean, if it wasn't for injuries and short notice fights, I guess, we wouldn't get this crazy year from Pereira. But yeah, opportunity showed up and he took it.
Hell yeah. Bobby, how many retirements do we get tonight?
Well,
we know we're getting one.
Who else could you think Thompson have a bad loss?
No, I don't think because Steven Wonderboy does not need to fight at all. He just does it because he likes fighting. He's very busy, runs a very successful karate gym, YouTube channel, does very well. Dude's getting sponsorship money from left, right, and center. He's fine. He legit does this because he wants to do it. So I would say he does not retire. I don't know. Juliana Pena, maybe. No. Court McGee, maybe. He's fighting in Utah.
Yeah,
he's been Court maybe both those guys do. I'll say if over-under's 1.5, I'm taking the over. So Esparza and at least one more. So I'll say over 1.5.
Yeah, I think we're in cage, definitely only Esparza, but I think if you give it a couple months, well, yeah, I'll go over. We'll probably get it someone else. One of the losers might not retire tonight, but he might call it.
Court McGee fighting on this card. Court McGee fighting on this card in his home city tells me this could be it. Win or lose, this could be his last fight.
All right. What's that? Someone Peter North says McGee, Carla, and Khalil going back to glory after he wins. Khalil was never in glory. he just beats him up. All right,
Khalil. We talked about Khalil just taking the UFC belt to glory would be incredible. I want all.
All right. And our last super chat. Oh, same thing. Yeah.
John also did it from March 2011 to April 2012. Someone remind Jed who the effing goat is.
We're talking a decade ago. Come on. What Jed's talking about today. Talking about today. You know, we're not talking about we're talking about today. So that was the day.
I wasn't even a father when this happened. That's how long ago this was.
I was in the traveling circus. I was in every press room.
I wasn't even married. I wasn't even married when this happened.
I was mustacheless when this happened.
I had hair.
Whoa.
I had hair back then.
What?
True story. That just goes to tell you how long this was. I had enough hair to hide the baldness back in those days. So there you go. Bonus predictions, Casey.
Jose Aldo.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna say it. Khalil Rountree.
Holy shit.
And fight of the night will go to I don't know. It's gonna be some random awesome undercard fight. That's all. I don't know what fight of the night will be.
Pereira. I'll go with Cesar Almeida.
Okay. I do predict he'll win big tonight. You're right.
And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Cover your ears. Cover your ears. Buckle your seatbelts. Fight of the night. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena.
Yes.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I didn't have the heart to say it. I didn't. I wanted to. I wanted to be. I wanted to be.
Blast me on the comments, and I know you will. And maybe I deserve it, but I'm putting the good juju out there. All right.
I love it.
All right. Main card predictions, Casey. We will begin with Kayla Harrison taking on Ketlin Vieira. Let me get the betting odds. Kayla Harrison, minus 1,100 favorite. The comeback on Ketlin Vieira, plus 700. By the way, these odds are courtesy of FanDuel. Casey, what do you got?
Harrison, 29-28 decision victory.
I have Harrison by decision as well. I also have a bet on Harrison by decision at plus 100 because we're going to know real quick. If this fight doesn't end in 4 minutes, I'm going to feel pretty good about my bet. I'm going to feel pretty good about things. Let's go to the middleweight division. Kevin Holland, currently the minus 154 favorite. He takes on Roman Dolidze, who comes back at plus 130. I got Kevin Holland by decision, but again, I also have a bet on Roman Dolidze because I don't know. I have no idea. I got him at plus 130, which is where it's at right now. There you go.
Size matters. I'm going Dolidze submission round 2.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love the gusto. We're both picking Jose Aldo, right? Against Mario Batista. I mean, you're just not going to find anybody picking against Jose Aldo on this website. It's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. We go to the co-main event.
But Aldo,
please.
He will win in the third round TKO, and there will be blood all over his hands.
Oh. For watch party purposes and for my personal entertainment, I kind of hope that happens. I got Aldo by decision in just the quintessential Jose Aldo type performance at this point in his career. Co-main event, UFC Women's Bantamweight title. Raquel Pennington puts it on the line for the first time against the former champ Juliana Pena, currently the champion, minus 164. The comeback on the challenger, plus 136. Who do you got?
And still, Rocky Pennington, TKO, ground and pound, round 3.
Holy smokes. Okay. That would put an exclamation point on, I think, a very good fight week for Raquel Pennington. I think she's done a great job. This is the most interesting she has been her entire career. No doubt about it. You can see it in her eyes, everything about her.
I would give credit to Juliana Pena for pulling that out of some fighters. Because Raquel, it's always been there, but she just doesn't choose to let it out. And Pena annoyed her enough to do that. So
yeah. I mean, we saw like spurts of it in January too. Mayra Bueno Silva kind of pulled that out of her a little bit. So we knew like some of that was in there, but Pena, plus like the only time you've ever heard Raquel Pennington talk shit is anytime she does a post-fight interview because she wants to fight Juliana Pena. And she's been doing it for years and years and years. I'm also, by the way, my fantasy team gets to actually play tonight. I have Jose Aldo, I think he was my second to last draft pick. Raquel Pennington, who I'm picking for picks purposes. I am picking Raquel Pennington to win in a fight of the night, unanimous decision. I do have a bet on Juliana Pena. Just it's all value. I got her at plus 142. And then I also have Alex Pereira, who I'm picking via second round knockout against Khalil Rountree. And by the way, the betting odds for that, Pereira, gigantic favorite as expected. He's down a little bit, minus 450. The comeback on Khalil Rountree, plus 350. And you're going with Khalil freaking Rountree, are you not?
I am picking so late with my heart. That is it. Just my heart. There's no reason Khalil Rountree is not the better kickboxer. But this is mixed martial arts and stupid things happen. And Khalil Rountree will get a KO in round 4. I'm not placing any money on this. I'm just saying it out loud. That is it.
Hit the music. We're out. Enjoy the fights. Court McGee, Tim Means is either about to kick off or has already kicked off. But follow us with MMAfighting.com. We got you covered. Jose, boots on the ground in beautiful Salt Lake City. Post-fight interviews. You will see him on our YouTube channel. Watch Party, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. My 24-month super chat, Casey. Let's go to our friend Terrence Leverett. We'll have a post-fight show, press conference, Dana White, all the tastemakers from tonight's card. It's going to be a busy night, everybody. And we appreciate you kicking off your night with us. For Casey, I am Mike Heck. Let's go. Enjoy the fight. Spin those chairs, baby.
Woohoo.
Enjoy.
Oh, and sorry, Mason. We'll get to your super chat in the post show. You sent it in too late.